I always say nobody knows what we do until it doesn't get done.
First couple passes, just make sure it's even. And then what we do is just call cutting passes just along the bottom. We don't want to hit the toe and the heel too much because we want the toe for them to push off, and we want the heel for their backward stability. We try not to take as much off there as we need. The last pass, nice smooth finishing pass. This is basically just a stone that get all the rough edges off. This basically just gets any debris on the outside of the edge that's still there. A quick square, we measure up to make sure it's even, and that's basically what you want to see at the end, nice even.
When I come in the morning, normally I'll sharpen skates from after practice. If guys need their skates done, they'll leave them for me. So I'll sharpen skates, do any repairs, equipment repairs that we need to do for the next day. Setting up the locker room for practice. Usually late morning, I'll get the practice, plan from the coaches. This time on Sundays is usually I'll come in. It's quiet around here. I'll kind of do laundry from the night or from the weekend, or whether we're on the road or at home. And early in the week, do a lot of repairs, do a lot of sewing with the jerseys and the socks because those get damaged over the weekend. So it's usually probably, morning till mid-afternoon is, where a lot of the work happens. And then we start practice and then pretty much start over from there. It's kind of like Groundhog Day sometimes. You're starting over doing the same thing over and over throughout the day, but you get into a routine where certain times of day you have certain things that you're doing. And game days are huge having the student managers around because there's a lot of laundry that needs to be done. There's a lot of prep work that has to be done. By the time we get done, kind of recovering from the morning skate and everything, we're basically getting right into the game time. And once, we'll get a little bit of a downtime before the game, and then we just start all over. One of the things I really like is the repair aspect, trying to have to innovate ways to fix things. Hockey players, I guess, like any other athlete, are creatures of habit. They don't like to have to switch equipment, shoulder pads, elbow pads, stuff like that. So sometimes if you can't get them into a new piece of equipment, you have to invent ways to fix it.
Trevor Hamilton had to customize his glove. He's had a lot of broken fingers in the past, so we basically created some pads. I'll show you the finished product in the locker room, but basically created some pads that we basically stitched on over the top of the outside of the glove, just as an extra protection. This is a backup set that I've yet to do here, but he's got a couple ready for him right now. This is basically the end product of that thing I was telling you earlier, so you can tell it takes a pretty good beating. Basically just stitching it on. So these are just, you don't go to school for this stuff, Back when I first started, a lot of guys, they didn't change gloves, they just had their gloves repalmed. Now guys just want new gloves once they start to break in and wear out. So it's a little bit different than it was in the past as far as equipment is concerned. But
there's a lot of equipment managers that have Twitter accounts. I started one about a year or so ago, and when they do have something that's a little bit unusual, guys will post the repairs and how they did that. So Twitter's actually become a really good resource for someone in our position, because that helps us see something. If there's something new that we haven't seen before, maybe a quick way to fix it, in a pinch, or in a more effective way than we've done it in the past until we can get a replacement. I always hope that when every player leaves, that they leave and you have a friend in them. That's in being able to, like I said earlier, being able to kind of help them become better players, whether it's their skate sharpening or whatever it might be. You hope that they leave as your friend. At times I ride these guys, when they're not doing or when they're doing things they're not supposed to be doing.
You guys aren't supposed to leave their shoes out. Shoes belong in their change stalls. So the first time. And after this, if it happens again, then we dump it in the cold tub and put them in the freezer. Paint. So this is the first offense. The student managers get a kick out of this, so they see something, they kind of get all excited when they see something lying around, you know. Hey, can I tape them up? Can I tape them up? So I usually leave this stuff to the student managers. So I'll have to undo this when he gets in tomorrow.
But you know, hopefully that you know, they come back and they give you a big hug when they see him again. I've gotten to do things beyond my wildest dreams. Growing up playing, especially in the Detroit area, watching the Red Wings growing up, I got to work for them for 4 years. Probably the best and the worst moment of my career was the 2009 finals. I mean, being able to be part of the Stanley Cup finals, but also losing is, you know, something that will probably sting forever. But I've gotten to skate with Wayne Gretzky. I've gotten to meet some of my childhood idols. And yeah, some of the memorabilia that I've collected over the years is stuff that means a ton to me. These are Steve Yzerman's gloves from one of the alumni games they did at Comerica Park in Detroit a few years ago. So I tried to get his jersey, but one of the other players grabbed it before I could, so I asked him for his gloves. So this is probably one of my favorite. You know, 30 years ago, if someone would have told me I've done half the stuff I've been able to do, those are great moments.